You have traveled in a car for sure, but only some of you might have traveled in a super fast car. Yeah, I am talking about the Tesla cars, which are super fast nowadays. But how they make a 5-door cars faster than a Lamborghini? It is interesting, right? Let's see how they will make cars that are faster than a Lamborghini. Teslas aren't particularly known for their top speeds. Compared to other electric cars, yes. However, they have quick accelerations, as compared to gasoline cars due to a combination of multiple reasons. Nature of electric motors. Electric motors produce all the torque at standstill. Gasoline cars need to be revved to a higher RPM to develop peak torque. This is somewhat mitigated in performance cars these days with launch control, where the EQ holds the RPMs at an optimum level to get the best torque off the line. It's easier to control electric motors. In a gasoline car, you'd be trying to control explosions and detonations inside the cylinders. There are a lot of moving parts and a lot happening under the hood. Controlling all this isn't a simple task. In an electric motor, it's all software. Having developed control unit software for both gasoline cars and electric cars, I can tell you that gasoline cars have really complicated software with not a lot of control over everything. And then there are a lot of variables too. You can have precise amounts of torque from the motor, as requested by the software, and then it's easier to have incremental amounts of torque for smoother, much linear launches. In a gasoline car, it's very easy to overwhelm the tires when the tires can't put down all the torque. Teslas are also incredibly powerful. Gasoline cars producing similar power and torque figures may not be as quick due to this problem. This is why you see gasoline cars that end up spinning wheels going nowhere. All the power in the world does not matter if the car cannot put it on the ground. Also, in case the tires end up spinning, it's easier to correct it in an electric motor due to the high level of control. It's not so easy in a gasoline car to retard spinning. Street tires can only do so much. Teslas are heavy, in the right place too. This works out for acceleration from a standstill, not so much for cornering. The heaviest part of the car, the batteries, are located in the floor, the lowest point in the car. All this weight pressing down on the tires increases traction off the line. Gasoline cars, while being much lighter, are typically front-engined. Teslas are similar to mid-engined supercars in terms of weight distribution and placement. Gasoline cars need complicated dynamic suspension setups to transfer weight on the rear axle during launches. Electric motors are responsive. The moment you floor the accelerator pedal, the software dictates electrons from the battery to be dumped in the motor. This is why people get the impression Teslas are quick at higher speeds, even though they actually accelerate less quickly at higher speeds. In a gasoline car, the throttle has to open, suck the air in, the fuel pump has to deliver fuel, the valves need to open to let them in, combust the air-fuel mixture, and then you get power. And you can't just dump a load of fuel in the cylinders. If it's turbocharged, it's even worse. The turbos need to spool up, build the boost pressure before it can get taking. All this has to progressively happen, increasing the amounts of fuel and air in each cycle as the revs build up. Also, Teslas have motors connected directly to the wheels, unlike gasoline cars which have a transmission, differential, etc. between the engine and the wheels. Then you have the gear shifts themselves. As fast as a PDK transmission can shift, there still is a tiny gap between shifts where you do not have torque at the wheels. The dual-motor versions are even quicker because it's not just the tires at the back that take all the torture. The torque is distributed among all the wheels. This helps in getting better traction off the line. AWD gasoline cars, like almost all Lamborghinis and the GTR, get such ferocious launches due to this. This is much better than rear-wheel drive. However, there's the issue of added weight and higher transmission losses in AWD gasoline cars. They get more complicated too. All these contribute to those 2.5 second 0 to 60 launches in supercar beating quarter-mile runs. However, you would notice that the trap speeds at the end of the quarter mile are a lot lower than gasoline cars. I suspect Teslas are designed particularly for getting better 0 to 60 times and 50 to 70 passing times rather than top-end acceleration. At higher speeds the weight, aerodynamic drag etc. play a huge role, in spite of the cars being powerful. The nature of electric motors also means that you have none of that off-the-line torque at higher speeds. The lack of a transmission means the motor cannot be kept spinning at optimum RPMs at higher speeds. The batteries cannot support sustained periods of high power delivery either, without overheating anyway. The current draw ranges in terms of hundreds of amperes. Imagine the I2R losses. When launching a Tesla it's all software and the only driver skill required is how fast he can floor the accelerator pedal. Racers who build cars for drag racing typically spend days or even weeks mastering the launch. They do multiple launches trying to figure the best RPM for launching, optimum RPMs for shifting etc. Thanks for watching my videos, and if you are interested in facts, motivation,